This is it, the final round of 2016, and in just under an hour, we'll find out who the new champs will be. This is AquaX. Welcome to Fort Lauderdale. This year has been amazing, and the AquaX Pro Tour has taken us to some incredible venues. It all started in Daytona Beach in the Big Surf. Then the massive crowds in Sarasota, and the stunning skyline in the Windy City. And just last week, the racers were only an hour north of here in Lake Worth, Palm Beach. And it didn't disappoint. It was drama all the way.
Welcome to Palm Beach, Florida, ladies and gentlemen. It's the L-Dub, and here we go. Oh, and Aswar goes down right at the start-finish line. Oh, and look at this. Aero Aswar gets taken out right there by Eric Francis, just slid right over the top of him. The back attack, Chris MacClugage, out comes the checkered flag. Getting ready to go with race number 2. We are off and away. Luggage pulls away just a little bit. And Francis, I'll tell you what, he is slicing through this traffic. And MacClugage and Francis side by side. And he's trying to steal it away from Chris MacClugage, and does. Oh, and Francis goes down. Go, your race finish. It is boat number 46, going 2 for 2 so far today. The green flag is down, and race number 3 is off and away. MacClugage will grab the whole shot. Aero Aswar still in that second place position, but Aswar puts his hand up in the air and says, go ahead and go by me. I'm not sure. Aswar could have mechanical problems. Chris MacClugage, he'll pull a hat trick here this weekend.
This puts you in a really strong position for Lauderdale.
You know, I mean, that's what we're looking at. We had those breakdowns, and we're just banking on everything to stay together for next weekend, and it's just a great weekend.
With Aero's problems, it left the table looking like this. Aero still top of the tree on 182. MacClugage on 167, tied with the Kawasaki of Eric Francis. Klippenstein still in the mix on 162, then it's Baldwin and Warner. It gets more interesting because the pros get to drop their lowest 3 scores. MacClugage, with a few DNFs, gets to drop zeros, but Aero has to drop real points. So all that means is MacClugage has to finish all 3 races and finish them well. Mr. MacAttack, you got drop scores on your side, but you have to finish every race this weekend. What is your plan?
What's that song? Win, win, win? Yeah, I just want to put the Monster Energy, Mac Racing, Broward Motorsports, Dean's team, Yamaha up on top of the podium this weekend. Again, like last weekend, the boat ran exceptionally well. Dean did an awesome job in the preparation, my brother, and so I hope that we can take it to the competition just like we did last weekend.
Do you feel the pressure to have to finish every race?
The mechanic, I guess, has that pressure. I mean, if it runs, I feel I can give him the result that he wants. You know, but these races, like we said in the past, anything can happen. There's a great field of riders out here. Eric's, late season charge. Aero's not going to be counted out. His ankle's a bit hurt. Boat's taped up, but Aero's a strong competitor. Clipper. There's a lot of guys that can come out and mix it up, and we're just going to ride hard and hopefully put the boat on top again.
So, will Aero be doing the math while riding the ski? Aero, you had some ski problems last weekend. Are you feeling the pressure for this weekend?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, being the going ski coming into the last round, obviously I got some pressure from all the racers around me. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I gotta do what I gotta do.
And with drop scores coming into the picture, are you thinking about the math?
Actually, like all of us, we thought about it. Right now with the drop scores, I believe I'm in second, with Chris being in first. But yeah, I mean, I don't really want to know about it. I don't really want to care about it during race. And but the whole season's been changing so crazy, and it's just, I think it's better just not to think about it and just go for the whole race and have fun.
Another man who'll be gunning for Aero is former world rankings leader, Eric Francis. Including drop scores, your Kawasaki in third. How are you gonna look to the lead this week?
I mean, there is a scenario where I can pull off the victory for the overall. We basically have to win every single moto and hope for a little bit of attrition on the other two. So, you know, we're not hoping any bad luck on anybody, but that would definitely help get us up to the top. But second's definitely obtainable, you know, getting, but first is a little bit harder to get, but it's possible.
And what is your strategy for the win?
Just go out there and set the hardest pace possible and hope that somebody can't keep up or makes a mistake trying to keep up.
So that's Pro Enduro. The guys and girls are getting ready for race 1 of 3. As always with AquaX, it's a full-on weekend on the water. As well as the pro ski, we've got the added interest of round 2 of the AquaX Enduro Amateur Internationals, with the top UK riders crossing the pond to take on their US rivals. Last weekend in West Palm, you told us to watch out for you. How are you feeling this morning?
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident in myself. Not quite as confident in the ski at the moment. It was overheating last round. Reva have supposedly cured it, so I'm looking forward to getting out there. I mean, the sea is really calm, which maybe puts me at a slight disadvantage, but I'm going to ride hard, and we're going to go for the win either way.
Chris, you had a really strong weekend last weekend, but you have some Brits here that would like to give you a run for your money. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'd like to think I have something to give them too. So it's not the conditions I'd really like. I'd rather the surf be bigger, but deal with what I got.
Okay, and taking a look at the points of the P1 AquaX International Championship in the Enduro class. Saxon in first place with 52 points, but the British are coming with Joseph Harvey, Gary Strigley with 51 and 41. In the 250 class, you had Jason Lester with 60 points, 51 for Sullivan, and Alejandro Moore with 45. Jennifer Nolan leads the 200 class with 60 points, 51 for Eric Diaz, and Duncan Johnstone rounds out your top 3. And now we go on board with Jennifer Nolan riding for Pennzoil this weekend as the green flag goes high in the air. Riders ready to be staged, and we've got 35 riders in 3 different classes, the 200, the 250, and the 300 class. As our riders work toward turn number 1, the flag drops, and we are off and away. It looks like we got a Kawasaki pilot up there early, and that looks like Sophie Perrin. Sophie will grab the whole shot here as we make the turn and head on to the northwest side of the track. Back on board with Jennifer Nolan. You can see top speed right now of 60 miles per hour for Nolan, who comes to us from Baltimore, Maryland. Back out on the race course, and it is a mad dash there as we get ready to head down the front straightaway. And it looks like Tommy Olswang is working his way through the pack. Boat number 219, a dark horse here in this one. Unfortunately, had some boat problems in Lake Worth last weekend, so really not in the points battle, but he could play the spoiler here this weekend. As we take a look down the back straightaway, we are about 3 wide heading into that turn. And Chris Saxon out of Orange Beach, Alabama, the points leader, currently leading by 1 point in the USA's best shot at an overall international title here for the Cup race. Again, P1 AquaX, and it looks like a rider getting high side there. That was possibly Derek Anderson, and Anderson will have to hit the brakes as Tommy Olswang moves into the lead. Boat number 219, Olswang, a very good rider, a veteran rider, been riding for about 25 years, and it's great to see him here in Fort Lauderdale. Now, one of the things about Olswang that you need to know is he is on borrowed property. Back out to Jennifer Nolan. She's your current points leader and race leader in the 200 horsepower class. As we work our way around the turn, Tommy Olswang, followed by Joseph Harvey from Great Britain. Carlito Devalier rounds out your top 3 here. And you can see Harvey side by side right now with Olswang, and pulls ahead of Olswang as they work bond reel to bond reel down the back straightaway. And it's Harvey, up and down, looking like he might have some issues there. And remember, Harvey had some issues last weekend in Lake Worth. Jason Lester, your current points leader in the 250 class, as he's piloting a Sea-Doo RXPX today. And you can see exactly where he is at on the track. Beautiful view of the city of Fort Lauderdale there in the background. On board with Joseph Harvey. Again, Great Britain's man with the plan. He took a second in Great Britain's Aquacross series this year, and looks like he's got another ignition problem. He was plagued with problems last weekend. Let's see if he can work those out, as Harvey, you can see with his hand in the air, and gets passed there by Olswang. So Tommy Olswang moves back into the lead. Harvey slides back to second with Devalier riding for CRT in third. The yellow flags come out for Harvey, and looks like he's got that machine refired, as again, he's got a pole in the water trying to reel in your leaders. 200 race class leader Jennifer Nolan, and looks like the red flag has come out. And fortunate for some, not so fortunate for others, as we have to abbreviate this race right here. Tommy Olswang will grab 20 points. Joseph Harvey from Great Britain, 17. Chris Saxon, 15. Devalier with 14. Shrigley with 13. And Toledo with 12. Jason Lester, your leader in the 250 class, will go ahead and continue on for the win. He'll take 20 points home. Kevin Sullivan in second. Alejandro Mora in third. In the 200 class, it was Jennifer Nolan, John Stone, and Loudhouse.
Join us after the break when it'll be the pros' turn. Welcome back. The pro enduro racers are heading out onto the water, and this is what the course looks like. Time for your race commentator, Mikey Young.
Hey, thank you, Deanna. Let's take a look at the Round 5 course guide here in Fort Lauderdale. Now, the red course will actually be your professional course in your enduro, and the black course will be the more extended amateur enduro class. Racers getting ready as the Goodyear blimp goes by. Aero Aswar, your points leader. The nerves have got to be flying with this kid here, as you see his father taking his boat out to the water. Kid is in first place, but I'll tell you, he has got Eric Francis and Chris MacClugage right behind him. I believe Aswar with 182 points, MacClugage and Francis both with 167 points. Again, getting ready to start. This is their first race, and unfortunately, due to some bad course conditions yesterday, these racers were not able to race their first race, so they'll be racing all 3 races today. P1 Aquacross Pro Enduro is set to take off. The green flag is high in the air, and we are off and away with our race start. On board with Victor Nolan, the Nolanator, picking up some great sponsorship, some corporate sponsorship this year from Pennzoil and Jiffy Lube. Aero Aswar is flanked to the Nolanator's left-hand side as they work their way toward that first turn. Victor Nolan, again, seeing top speeds right now of about 60 miles per hour as you see him head into that turn, and it's nothing but pump wash in front of him. He shakes out in about the 5th spot. Here's your battle for second. Mike Klippenstein, boat number 212. He's on the white boat trimmed in red and black, and on the red boat trimmed in white and red is Aero Aswar. Aswar out of Jakarta, Indonesia. Klippenstein out of Canada. Here's your race leader, Chris MacClugage, and you can see top speeds already of 65 miles per hour, and he's already put a little bit of distance between he and your second place riders. And there is your battle for second, again, between Clipper, who's on the inside, and Aswar on the outside. Again, Aswar needs to keep that points lead. A major battle coming into this 5th and final stop here in lovely Fort Lauderdale. Clipper overtakes that second place position, so he is currently in a solid second place with Aswar hot on his tail. On board now with Eric Lagopoulos, the outlaw out of Sarasota, Florida, and you can see it doesn't look too rough out there, but that boat is definitely working it. MacClugage, your race leader, again up the northwest side of the track, getting ready to come down into that front straightaway after the chicane, and here we go. Chris MacClugage, again out of Naples, Florida, riding for Monster Energy, Dean's team, and Yamaha, as well as Hamilton's Customs. Here he comes down the front straightaway, and he is kicking the tires and fighting the fires here in Fort Lauderdale, trying to pick up some much-needed points. Again, currently tied with Eric Francis. Francis currently in the 4th spot right now on the Dave's Auto Body Monster Energy Kawasaki. Victor Nolan and the outlaw Eric Lagopoulos on 361, really going at it. Big battle for 7th place right there. They've got Anya Kali sitting in 6th right in front of them, but I'll tell you what, a heated battle right here. Nolan, center punches the buoy. A tough break for Victor Nolan as he has to take a swim, and this is no time to play Michael Phelps out there on the race course. As you see him work his way back to his boat, course marshals coming over to assist, and it looks like he is all tangled up in that big P1 AquaX mushroom buoy. And he is doing nothing but getting out the snorkel right now. Great assistance there by our safety staff. And Victor Nolan trying to get back out into this one. He's able to get back out, but taking a look over to his left-hand side, it looks like there's your race leader, Chris MacClugage, and that's going to put the Nolanator a lap down. So Victor Nolan trying to collect himself as race leader goes past Chris MacClugage. MacClugage, again, bringing the whole family here, and bad news for Canada. Bad news for the Clipper. Mike Klippenstein coming in on the gap, and that is something that you do not see too often there from the number 212. Clipper was fourth coming into the points today, so heartbreak for him as he has to get towed off. Aero Aswar, that advances him back into that second place position, and again, remember, Aswar in first place in the points coming into this one. This is only race number 1. We've got 3 total today. MacClugage in command of this one as you see him working his way past our start-finish line under green flag racing conditions. Aswar still about 15 seconds off the pace, being thrown down by MacClugage, and you can see he's just trying to run steady Eddie right now. Doesn't want anybody to get past him, but he knows that MacClugage has got a pretty good lead, and it's going to be tough to get up to him. Now we got Eric Francis back here in the 4th spot. Don't count Francis out. As his new bride, Sophie Perrin, looks on with the camera. It's MacClugage, Aswar, and Francis now moving up to 3rd. Eric Lagopoulos still in a major battle with Victor Nolan and Anya Kali, and that's your battle for 5, 6, and 7 right there. But Marcus Jorgensen, a big surprise, coming to us out of Denmark, and he's sponsored by Riva Racing, the 248, currently running in the 4th position. And it's great to have the Danish represented over here this year with the P1 AquaX. So this is the USA Championship that you're watching this weekend, folks. The green flags are flying for Jorgensen, and that spells good news for Denmark. Back out to your race leader, Chris MacClugage, working his way down the front straightaway with Old Glory chasing him. And taking a look from above, and you can just see MacClugage with a great lead there over Aswar and Francis. Again, not too much time left to go in this one as we go back on board with Victor Nolan. Nolan, again, his top speed so far today has only been about 60 miles per hour. Aero Aswar still in the 2nd place position. He's got a pole in the water. He's trying to reel in your leader. Again, a big points lead coming into this, but will it be enough? Every point counts as we get here toward the final races. Again, going back to your leaderboard, it's still MacClugage, Aswar, and Francis 1, 2, and 3 as we head into the latter stages of this one. All right, so coming in on 30 minutes. We're at 30 minutes. The white flag should be coming out this next time around for MacClugage, and you can see MacClugage getting past Anya Kali, putting Anya Kali a lap down. A great rider from Great Britain, known as the Pink Lady, and here comes MacClugage down that front straightaway. And Mac working his way through the chicane. Only a couple more laps to go for the Mac attack. Chris MacClugage, known as the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Here is your race leader, and down the front straightaway. As we take a look, the white flag will come out this time around for Chris MacClugage. And MacClugage, again, will show that white flag one more time. I'll tell you, he's got to be saying hallelujah right about now. We call it the hallelujah flag because after 30 minutes, your arms are pumped up, ready to pump out of their sockets, actually. And he sees that white flag, and you can tell he was very happy, acknowledging the white flag. So one last time through the chicane up here, north side of the track, as we view it here from the P1 AquaX Tower of Power. And the checkered flag getting ready to come out. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner for race number 1, Chris MacClugage. MacClugage, again, picking up some much-needed points onto Aswar. Taking a look down, it was MacClugage in first, Aswar in second, the Eagle in third. Marcus Jorgensen out of Denmark in fourth, Lagopoulos in fifth, and Anya Kali rounds out your top 6.
Aero, you had a strong race, consistent the whole way through. How did you stay at a high speed?
I'm just being focused on my race. You know, I saw Clipper broke down, so that made me move a spot. I believe I got second that race. Yeah, it's just makes me, you know, just pushing myself with a bad ankle. So yeah, I think I did pretty good.
So this puts you in a really strong position for the championship. How are you feeling?
I feel really good. You know, this is my 7th first place now on the AquaX races, so you know it's pretty cool to be able to win this many races. But anyways, I just really happy to be here in Florida again, and love that the tour's here and we moved back to Florida. I raced here in 1988 and I'm back here again, and it's awesome to be here.
Join us after the break for more action. Welcome back to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and a great win for MacClugage in the first AquaX Pro Enduro race. Now it's time for Pro Sprint. And top of the table, Isaiah Washington isn't here this weekend, so it should make it an easy ride for Franco Tobler. Franco, you had an amazing weekend last weekend, won all 3 races. Do you think you can do it again?
Yeah, we were training this weekend at Markham Park. We went on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And here we are at Fort Lauderdale. I want to make the same that the other race.
So let's get back to the racing. And Mike.
Hey, thank you, Deanna. Time for race number 1 here in our Pro Sprint class. And you can see boat number 72 getting a good jump there as we slow it down for everybody. That is Johnny Smith out of Mims, Florida, riding for Trinity, as well as Riva Racing. And on his outside from Argentina is Franco Tobler. Tobler has been a force to be reckoned with. We got our first look at him last weekend in Lake Worth, and this kid went 3 for 3. All 3 races, winning all 3 of them. And great boat that he's on right there. It was built by Laura and Louis Malone of Team Me Racing. And you can see the boat's so fast we have to slow it down for everybody. Going back out to the track, you got Harry Robinson and Johnny Smith doing battle. Johnny on the orange number 72, Harry Smith on the red and white Kawasaki. Black numbers there, boat number 53. He's actually racing a stock boat out here against some of these more modified boats. Franco Tobler, still your race leader. And this kid is in it to win it, no doubt about it. Coming again all the way up from Argentina. Great to have him here for our International Cup. And there's the finish from race number 1. Franco Tobler will take the win, boat number 53. He's followed in by Johnny Smith, 72 on the Trinity, and Tony Cantalamessa on the Kawasaki SXR. Going back to race number 2, take a look at some of the highlights. There is your race start. And once again, Johnny Smith getting a great start from that middle section, but it's not going to be enough as Franco Tobler able to pull away on that Kawasaki triple right there. He'll grab the whole shot. And Tobler, your race leader, a youngster, only I believe 17 years of age. Franco traveled up with his parents from Argentina, and his parents, a great source of inspiration for the young 17-year-old. I asked him what it was like to have his parents back there in his corner. He said, Mike, I'll tell you what, there's nothing like it. They're the best support that anybody could ever give me. There's your race finish for race number 2, and it's going to be Franco Tobler, followed in by Johnny Smith and Tony Cantalamessa, same as race number 1. Now let's take a look at race number 3 here in our Pro Sprint class, and Tobler picking up right where he left off, boat number 52. We're going to show the finish of this one, and the red flag comes out, which means that there may be some wildlife in the area, so we're going to get him off the water. Franco Tobler in first, Smith in second, and Tony the Tornado in third. Franco Tobler once again taking the win, and let's take a look at our overall points. For round number 3 here in Fort Lauderdale, Franco Tobler, 60 points, will take the overall win in the International Cup. Johnny Smith in second, and Cantalamessa will round out your top 3.
Okay, you're super lightning fast. How did you do it?
Yeah, I was training in Argentina a lot. I was training 3-4 days per week. To came here, I want to say thanks for all my family, my friends, and all the people around here. I'm so happy about this. This for me is the best thing. Came here and ride in this ocean is the best thing I've ever seen.
So now it's time for race 2 from Pro Enduro. Mac needs to finish strong to take home the title. But what is Aero thinking right now? Aero, I've got one question for you. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, it's all good. I've been ready for this for like a couple hours now.
It's a little bit cold now, but yeah, we're finally getting in the water, and hopefully we can race these things right now.
Clip, how you feel going out to this race?
You know, the team did a great job getting the boat back going. We're going to borrow Travis's backup boat. With my setup, Team Dean's boat's working really good. That AquaX Hammerhawk's ripping the first moto. Unfortunately, the turtles weren't here, but the gremlins were. So let's have some better luck in Moto 2 and 3.
It's time for race number 2 in the Pro Enduro class. 15 riders ready to do battle as we take a look at your current points leader, Aero Aswar. He'll be on the Yamaha FZR SHO side by side with Chris MacClugage as these riders get staged and we get ready to drop the hammer here in lovely Fort Lauderdale. Here we go with the race start. Green flag is dropped and we are off and away. On board right now with the Mac Attack, Chris MacClugage. And you can see just how aggressive this rider is. MacClugage with the early lead, trying to dart out in front of the rest of the pack. Aero Aswar looks like he has popped up into second place. Flanked to his left is MacClugage, and just to his right looks like Mike Klippenstein, currently sitting in that third spot. Klippenstein on some borrowed property here for this one, as he had to go to Travis Selesco's backup boat. And they're just about 3 wide as they come down the back straightaway. It is still MacClugage, followed by Aswar in second. And the Clipper in third. Aswar, you can see with a pole in the water, trying to keep MacClugage in his gun sights, and MacClugage trying to basically put these guys way down early because MacClugage wants to finish strong, but he wants to have a nice lead about halfway going into this one. And the water's not too choppy out here this weekend in Fort Lauderdale. And MacClugage, that would actually not play to his favor because he is known as one of the world's best surf riders. Aswar still in second, as you see beautiful Fort Lauderdale there in the background. And MacClugage through the chicane down the front straightaway as he is just about over 2 minutes into this one. Chris MacClugage, your race leader, still followed by Aswar. As we go back on board with Superman, Aero Aswar, and Aswar hoping not to find his kryptonite here this weekend. As we head toward the backside of the track, Anya Colley putting in a great ride. Great Britain's boat number 52. Her parents, Michelle and Malcolm, listening in back from Great Britain. Anya Colley, an amazing job here from this young lady, the only lady in the field here in the Pro Enduro classes. The Clipper still in that third place position. Again, not too bad there considering he's on some borrowed property. Victor Nolan and Eric Lagopoulos once again battling it out for 7th. And these two have been battling since the first moto for that 7th place position. Absolutely amazing. Just over 5 minutes into it and going on board with Eric Lagopoulos. And you can see he's getting top speeds right now of about 65 miles per hour. The Clippers still holding on to that third place position, trying to reel in Aswar, but you know it's got to be tough being on a different boat out there, set up a lot differently than his boat. You can see Aswar's location right there on the race course as he works his way through the chicanes and gets ready to come down that front semi straightaway. Still, the battle rages on for 7th place between the Nolanator and the Outlaw. 585, the Nolanator working on the outside. Lagopoulos currently winning that battle for that 7th place position. And things starting to chop up a little bit out there. Just over 8 minutes have elapsed here, side by side, bond rail to bond rail. This is where champions are made. And Nolanator trying to pop out of it as MacClugage sends him a little bit wide. And uh-oh, out comes the dreaded red flag. The dreaded red comes out, ladies and gentlemen, and unfortunately, that will cause this race to come to a close. And it will remain, though, as more than 3 laps were posted. Chris MacClugage with 20 points, Aswar in second, Francis in third.
We'll see you right after this break for more great racing. Welcome back. We have Pro Enduro Race 3 still to come, but first, let's find out who took the honors in the Amateur Internationals. Will it be the British or the Americans?
Well, here we go with the start of race number 2 in our Amateur Enduro class. It's the International Cup. The green flag drops, and we are off and away. Once again, 35 riders headed into one turn, and it could be chaotic. Anthony Radetich with a good jump there out of the hole. Anthony is an adaptive athlete, having the best weekend of his career here in Fort Lauderdale. And looks like he's going to try to close it up, grab that hole shot behind him. He's got Tommy Olswang, boat number 30, Carlito DeValier in that third position, followed by Harvey in fourth. And now going on board with our British rider, Joseph Harvey. And you can see that he's getting nothing but pump washed out there as he works his way through the pack. Radetich, Olswang, DeValier, and Harvey, 1 through 4, as they head down the back straightaway. Again, Anthony Radetich, your race leader out there, running a fine race. He's on the Sea-Doo RXPX. Got Tim McKercher, Cody Hawkins looking on from Look Marketing, two of his proud sponsors, along with Dave Bambus at Reva Motorsports. And you can see Radetich right there and Harvey, as well as Tommy Olswang. Olswang now moves into the race lead with Radetich sliding back to second. Harvey moves up into third. And I'm taking a look out, looking for Chris Saxon. Don't see Chris Saxon, but Chris was the points leader coming into the weekend and only sits 1 point behind Joseph Harvey coming into this race. We'll try to keep an eye out for him as, meanwhile, looks like we have a rider that came off his machine. And we're going to go ahead and help that rider out, as it does not affect our race leaders, Tommy Olswang and Anthony Radetich. Here's your battle for second between Radetich and Harvey. Harvey on the inside and Radetich on the outside. Tommy Olswang, a.k.a. Mango, on the Yamaha X SVHO. He is sponsored this weekend by Frank and Al's Pizza. Frankie Hi-Ho Silva actually loaning the boat to Tommy Olswang after having some mechanical issues last week in Lake Worth. There is your race leader down the front straightaway, starting to extend on that lead. Back on board with Anthony Radetich, and again, Anthony having the ride of his life out here. Boat number 153 and making his Sea-Doo sponsors proud. But watch out, Anthony. The British are coming. The British are coming in the form of Joseph Harvey, the GB64, still in that third place position. You can take a look. He's coming up side by side with Radetich. Your race leader, Tommy Olswang, with the battle going on for second place. That has given him a little bit of breathing room out in front as you see him working his way, starting to pick off some back markers here in lovely Fort Lauderdale. Radetich, again, trying to fend off the charges by Harvey. Harvey trying to work the inside right there of Radetich, side by side. And here we go, getting ready to come down the front straightaway. It's still Radetich with the advantage. The green flags come out. That signifies that this race is halfway complete. 15 minutes in the books, 15 plus 1 to go. And here comes Harvey with a handful of throttle down the front straightaway. Picks up the broom, sweeps hard, and now able to get past Radetich with a back marker now facing him. Harvey just disposes of the back marker, no problems whatsoever. Let's go on board here with Jennifer Nolan. Jennifer Nolan is the current 200 class points leader. And nothing but clean water in front of the Go Fast girl, Jennifer Nolan, again riding for Pennzoil and Jiffy Lube. Taking a slow-mo look here at second place, Joseph Harvey, making his way through that start-finish line. But there is the checkered flag, and that is going to do it. Tommy Olswang will take the win here, followed in by Joseph Harvey, Anthony Radetich in third, Sophie Parrott in fourth, Shrigley in fifth, Toledo in sixth. As we take a look at the race finish here, Daniel Steele, Olswang's teammate, clapping for him out there. As we take a look down the amateur enduro 300 class overall points, Olswang with the win, Harvey in second, Radetich in third here in Fort Lauderdale. Due to course conditions, the 300 riders in the amateur class were not able to get all 3 motos in. However, they did get 2 in, and this is how they stacked up after 2 in the International Cup. Joseph Harvey from Great Britain will take the win. Chris Saxon from the USA in second. Gary Shrigley from Great Britain in third. Jennifer Nolan, your 200 class winner for the weekend. She was followed in by David Lee and Duncan Johnstone in the 200 class. In the 250 class, it was Jason Lester, Alejandro Mora, and Kevin Sullivan. There's a look at Jason Lester, your winner of the 250 class. Now let's take a look at the overall points championships. It was Lester, your overall champion in the 250 class with 100 points. Sullivan with 83, Mora with 77, Jennifer Nolan, Johnstone, and David Lee.
So you've beaten all the Americans, huh?
Every one of them. So yeah.
And that was the plan. So what are you looking forward to for next year? Will you be back in the US?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best place to ride. It's got the best competition. It's the best place for me to progress.
And now for the big one. Who will be the Pro Enduro champ of 2016? Mac has to not finish the race for you to win overall.
Yes, that is exactly right. But yeah, I mean, you never know because it's racing, and I don't want to call such thing because what if that happens to me and that's not going to be a good thing? So, you know, I'll just race what I can.
I just want to go out and do the same thing. I'm having a good time out there. The boat, you know, Dean did some really good work to the boat last night, and like I said earlier, we weren't performing as good as we want to yesterday, but today it's working exceptionally well. The conditions are in my favor. I love these conditions, and it's just an awesome series, and I can't wait to be a part of it next year.
The pros are on the water and ready to go. Over to you, Mikey.
Thank you, Deanna. This is what it's all about. It's the big enchilada. These riders have been racing since May. They've polka dotted their way from Daytona Beach over to Sarasota, up to Chicago, Lake Worth. This is the final round, final race of the season. Aero Aswar, your points leader, coming into this one. Green flag high in the air as we get ready to drop, and we are on 30 minutes plus a lap. We are off and away. It's the third and final moto here with the People on AquaX Series. As we head into turn number one, it looks like Aero Aswar with the early advantage, but he's got MacClugage on the outside. MacClugage, easy to pick out. On that 46 boat, he is a big fan of Valentin Rossi, one of our superbike riders out there, and running his number rather, in his honor. So MacClugage pulls out to the early lead, and we got Marcus Jorgensen, 248 out of Denmark, back there in second. Aero Aswar out of Indonesia, rounding out your top three. Just under a minute off the clock so far. Aero Aswar, you can see what he's got in front of him, taking a look out his front windshield. And he's got MacClugage out in front with Jorgensen in second, the Clipper in third. Aswar currently sitting in that fourth place position. And there is your race leader, MacClugage, trying to put a little real estate between he and Jorgensen. But right now, Jorgensen has company. There is the Clipper side by side on borrowed property. Jorgensen able to throttle out of trouble right there as we take a look back at our race leader. And again, with those two banging it out, the race leader's got a little bit more breathing room up there in front. Battle for second between Jorgensen and the Clipper. Denmark versus Canada in the Battle of the Nations, with a USA sitting out in front right now with Chris MacClugage. And another shot right there of those two battling it out for fourth spot. That is Eric Francis and Aero Aswar, and you've seen them two get together last week in Lake Worth. No love lost between these two. Aswar was sitting first in points coming into this one, with Francis tied for second with MacClugage. And it looks like Francis able to get past the Clipper right there, as we are just over 3 minutes into this one, and a big battle there as Francis now settles into third place on that Monster Energy Kawasaki. It's MacClugage, your race leader, down the front straightaway. Jorgensen right there behind him, about 2 seconds, 3 seconds off of the pace, and you can see Marcus Jorgensen in second place as we slow it down right there, making a pass back by our start-finish line. Marcus Jorgensen, a fine rider. First time that we've had the opportunity to take a look at him here at AquaX on the U.S. side. Battle for fourth place between boat number 119, Aero Aswar, and Mike Klippenstein. And Aswar not giving up. You know, I'll tell you what, he is down, but he's not out. He's still up in the points, but he needs to climb through the pack if he wants to take MacClugage for that overall position. Once again, the way that this works out is you throw away your 3 worst rounds. Well, MacClugage had some bad luck earlier on this season and already threw away 3 DNFs. Back on board with the outlaw Eric Lagopoulos, who spends his Monday through Friday as a restaurateur over in Osprey, Florida, where he owns the Waterfront 2 restaurant. These two are side by side, and they're battling it out for who will walk away a little bit ahead of the other in our Pro Enduro class. This is the third and final race. This is what it all comes down to, folks. And you can see Anya Kali just in front of the Nolanator right now. So Anya Kali currently sitting in that 6th place position, with Nolan in 7th on boat number 585. Back back out to your race leader, Chris MacClugage. And I'll tell you what, this kid will be celebrating tonight. He's doing what he has to do. He knew he had to come out here. He knew he had to go 3 for 3 to pick up those much-needed points over Aero Aswar. Francis now, on the other hand, not only needs to get by MacClugage, but he needs some divine intervention. He needs MacClugage to finish 6th or further back in the pack if he can have a shot at that overall points setup. Well, I'll tell you, it is going to be tight, though, as MacClugage, your race leader, way out in front, and now Francis starting to apply the pressure to Marcus Jorgensen, boat number 248 out of Denmark. Here comes Francis. Francis is going to work the inside. And Eric Francis, the Eagle, trying to land here in Fort Lauderdale. Can he do it, or will he get his wings clipped? I'll tell you what, not too much time left to go. Not too much time left to go whatsoever as we take a look at Francis down the back straightaway. Aswar right now, he was the points leader coming into it, and it's now or never for Aswar. Aswar needs to make a move on not only Jorgensen, but he needs to get past Francis as well if he wants to keep that overall points lead and stand atop the podium tonight at the banquet. And I'll tell you, man, an amazing job being thrown down here by MacClugage. Aswar, and here comes Francis. Francis now challenging MacClugage. And Francis will try to work to the inside of MacClugage as we go on board with the back attack as he works his way down the back straightaway. And you can see Paul Green just flanked to his left, who is going a lap down. And here comes Francis. Francis goes by Green, the back marker, and by MacClugage to overtake that first place position. So the Eagle, Eric Francis, doing what he needs to do to put himself atop that podium tonight. Again, remember, they were tied in points, those two riders right there, MacClugage and Francis, coming into today. Aswar out in front, but Aswar has not thrown away his worst scores yet. Back on board with the outlaw, Eric Lagopoulos. Lagopoulos, again, attaining speeds of 65 miles per hour. Less than 6 minutes to go for Eric Francis. Francis still ahead of MacClugage. MacClugage still running in second place. And you can see the pump watch just in front of MacClugage. That is Francis right there. MacClugage going to try to stay right there in the 6th spot. It's still the pink lady, Anya Kali. All right, going back on board with Superman, Aero Aswar. Again, Aero riding for Works Components, BNI, and Dean's team, as well as Factory Yamaha, all helping his campaign this year. There's the Miss Geico boat, Jason Russo, who's been a little quiet this weekend. Jason, normally not the quiet type. He's on the Factory Yamaha as well, currently riding about that 9th place position, but here comes the Eagle, Eric Francis. Francis trying to hold on to this lead that he has gotten over MacClugage, and you can see things are just about the same for MacClugage. MacClugage still going 65 miles per hour, and that's pretty much the top speed that we've seen from every personal watercraft that's been out there racing this weekend. Fastest speeds, 65 miles per hour in this chop right here. On board with Eric Francis as time starts to wind down, and the Eagle can taste the victory here. But again, he needs some help. He really doesn't know what's going on behind him. MacClugage still in second place. If MacClugage stays where he's at, he could take the overall title. So Francis, again, first place in this race. However, MacClugage with wins in the first and second race. There it is. Francis will take the win here in the 3rd race. And you can see he is thanking the man upstairs as Chris MacClugage will not only thank the man upstairs, but he's going to thank all of his sponsors who helped him out this season, like Broward Motorsports, Wambleton's Customs, Factory Yamaha, Dean's team, all helping that kid out. Okay, let's take a look and see how the rest of the riders fared here as we take a look at our points board. We got Eric Francis in first, MacClugage in second here in the 3rd race, Aswar in 3rd, Clipper in 4th, Lagopoulos in 5th, Kali in 6th. So congratulations are in order for Chris MacClugage, who took the win for the weekend. However, where does that leave us with our overall? Well, that means MacClugage will take the overall here for the United States. Aswar in 2nd, Eric Francis in 3rd, Clipper in 4th. What a season.
Okay, Mac, we've got the official word. You're the 2016 Aquacross Pro Enduro Champion. How do you feel right now?
I feel great. I just got to thank all these, look at all these guys right here. That's who I got to thank, all these people that helped me out to get here. Sam Nemi put this effort together really last minute, about 2 weeks before the first race in Daytona. And I told Yamaha, if I'm going to race it, I'm going to win it. And I just said I could do it. If everything works out right, I can win it. And, I wanted to go 6 for 6 on these last 2 rounds, but we ended up going 5 for 6, and that's all we needed. And also, big thanks to AquaX for such a great series.
So that's it for 2016, and what a year it's been. Let's take a look back at some of this season's highlights.
Oh, and right at the start-finish line, Cerule home. He's all over the place, and he goes swimming.
I thought I was gonna eat the ski.
Oh, and Aswar goes down.